So when we look at deflationary gap or inflationary gap, deflationary gap is when our AE is below the full employment level of AE. So if you look at this diagram, guys, let's in fact draw a diagram for deflationary gap. In a deflationary gap, basically your AE is not enough to make you achieve full employment. So a good example of this could be, like in AS, we did, in fact, we did deflation. Remember deflation that we did in AS when your demand wasn't strong enough. So if this is my y equals to AE, okay, and if this is YF, right? This is full employment level of GDP. What if you are not here? What if you are at AE naught? Are you all with me? If you are at not YF, right now your equilibrium is at Y1. This is what we call the output gap, right? You guys get it? If I say this is full employment level of output, like remember PPC, where GDP is at fully employed. So this is the total maximum that you can produce. But right now you're not there, you are at Y1. Make sense? Which means you are not at full employment, you're below full employment. How can you how can you reach YF? When your AE goes up. Isn't that true? If the AE goes up to, for example, AE star, you can achieve full employment, which means this A to B is your deflationary gap. The way we define deflationary gap, it's the gap by which AE is below that AE which corresponds to full employment. What's the AE that corresponds to full employment? The answer is AE star. What's the AE you are at? The answer is AE naught. Not at full employment. Make sense? Are you all with me? So guys, one more question, and this I'm going to show you this some in MCQ as well. If this AE is 5, okay, and if your multiplier is 10, what's the change in Y? If the AE is 5, okay, if the gap of AE is 5, which means your AE is shortfalling by 5, and if your multiplier is 10, what is the change in Y? Haris is saying 50, which is exactly true, because change in AE times my multiplier is change in Y. Okay, so if somebody asks you what's the change in Y, that will be, so what is the deflationary gap? And the answer is deflationary gap is the gap by which AE is below the AE that corresponds, sorry, I'm writing about deflationary gap. Okay, what is deflationary gap? It's the gap by which AE is below the AE that corresponds to full employment. To full employment level of GDP. Makes sense? So your deflationary gap will not make you reach full employment unless you make the AE go up. And AE will go up because of C, I, G, or X minus M going up. Remember, government can do a lot of policies to make the AE to change. For example, the government can do fiscal policy or monetary policy, something which we're going to do in a policy chapter, that can make my AE go up. So for example, monetary policy is lowering interest rates. If you increase money supply, interest rate goes down. If interest rate goes down, consumption will go up. Consumption goes up or investment goes up, AE goes up. Your deflationary gap can disappear. Makes sense? Just like deflationary gap, we also have an inflationary gap, which I want to talk about. YF. YF is full employment level of output. Y1. So this is YF is full employment level of output. What is 5? 5 I'm saying is how much you need your AE to go up by. This 5 is the deflationary gap. I just came up with this number. Are we going to move on, guys? Let's talk about now inflationary gap. When deflationary gap is when the A is below full employment, inflationary will be A is above the full employment level of AE. Okay, so let's draw the inflationary gap. In an inflationary gap, if this is my Y equals to AE, this is your YF. This is your AE naught, right? Sorry, I did it wrong. Your AE should be above. Your AE should be here. Right, so if your AE is here, you are right now producing Y1. Now, a question to ask is, how can you go beyond YF? Can we go beyond YF? And the answer is, we can. Why? Because you might be making workers work overtime, you might be overstretching your resources. Full employment by definition means using your resources fully and efficiently. But what if you're making people work overtime? Is this sustainable in the long run? And the answer is no. It makes sense? YF is that GDP which is the full employment level of GDP. So inflation hogi. There will be inflation in the country. And that's why this gap is called, this gap is called A, C to D. This gap is called, and this is, I'm calling it AE star because, and I'm making it dotted because you would want your A to go down. And so this gap is called the inflationary gap. Yes. Yeah, in the previous example, your AE star was always at full employment. This is the AE star that corresponds to full employment. But in the previous diagram, my AE was below the full employment. And that's why this gap was the deflationary gap. Now it's above, and that's why it's called inflationary gap. Make sense? So inflationary gap is when AE is much, much higher than the full employment level of AE. What kind of policies can you do? Something called deflationary policies, may like fiscal policy, monetary policy that are making AD go down. Like government spending goes down, you may see AE goes down, and therefore you may come back to YF. Or yeah, increase imports maybe, yeah. Ekta, did I answer your question now, or do you have some clarity? This YF is the full employment level of GDP. Okay, guys, why do we call it inflationary pressure? Because when you are trying to produce more than full employment, you will only make the prices to go up. This framework doesn't have prices. And remember in AS, we did AD-AS analysis. So that AD-AS analysis had price level and GDP. Remember that? And so we'll go back to that framework very soon. But just 1 minute. Make sense, guys? Any questions before we move on? I want to show you now some essay MCQs, and also we'll see some essay questions which will help us understand this. Are we going to move on? It's taking a little longer. It's not the internet problem. It's basically the file is. Okay, guys, this is a very good question that comes here. In a closed economy with no government, consumption is 4/5 of income at all levels of income. Yani, what this means is this, that MPC is 4/5. If MPC is 4/5, what is MPS? 1/5. And what is multiplier then? 1/, MPS, which is 1/5, which is equal to 5. So my multiplier is 5. Right? So that's one thing we found out. Then they said that right now equilibrium is 220. Isn't that true? And full employment is 240, which means the output gap is 20. And they're saying is how much investment have to increase to reach full employment. So in other words, change in AE times multiplier is change in Y. Change in Y is 20, multiplier is 5. So change in AE would be what? B, 20/5, which means in this case, there is a deflationary gap. Isn't that true? In this case, they said this is full employment YF, which is 240. You are standing at 220, which means this is 20. How much will this be? And the answer is, if you make this 4 times 5 multiplier makes it 20. Got it, guys? MPS is 1/5 because they gave us MPC 4/5. 1 minus MPC is MPS. Make sense? 1 minus MPC is MPS. Questions, guys? Are we good? People online, are we good with this? Yeah. Guys, can you guys do this for me? Quickly solve this for me. Let me. Here the trick is, when you look at this, the value multiplier with an economy with no government. So there is no MPT here. So you need to understand there's no MPT here. So if I look at multiplier is 1/MPW. Remember this, which is 1/6 plus 1/3. MPS plus MPM. Remember, MPS plus MPM is your marginal propensity to withdraw, right? Which is equal to what? Can you do the math? 1/6 plus 1/3 is, I think, 1/2, half. Or multiplier will become 1/2, which is 2. Okay. The safest thing is that you're allowed calculator, so you can do the math and do it with the calculator rather than do the mental math. That will make you. So the multiplier is 2 in this case. Okay. Exactly. 1/MPS plus MPM. Got it, guys? Does that make sense? I want to now do some essay questions. They're really good essay questions that I want to show you, which will help us understand how 2 sector and 4 sector are tested in exam. Okay. And we'll also see one more essay question, which can help us understand the accelerator and multiplier. So let's look at this essay question. Sorry. Essay question kar rahe na bacha. So in 2013, Habib, MPW is all withdrawals added together, MPS and MPT and MPM. In this question, MPT was not there. That's why we only had MPS and MPM added. Okay, guys, look at this. This is the kind of question I want you to prepare for this chapter. They're saying that in 2013, a new aircraft, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, was assembled in the US. United States, an American private company, ordered 50 of these aircraft costing over 200 million. So they're doing some investment. Isn't that true? So they're saying, imagine that the US was a closed economy with no government, which means AE is equal to C plus I. Analyze why the increase in national income from this investment in a new aircraft might be different than it were in an open mixed economy. Open mixed economy means government and an open, which means X minus M, which means four sector. So you move from A is equal to C plus I to A is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So you move from two sector to four sector. Your multiplier will change 1 over MPS to 1 over MPS plus MPT plus MPM. You need to draw the diagram for two sector, four sector. You need to show how the multiplier is much bigger in two sector, and therefore investment of 200 will have a larger impact here than in this case, because more withdrawals are taking place. Make sense? So that's an answer for this one. So you draw two sector case, you make that no numbers required, only analysis required. You talk about A is equal to C plus I. How does A look like? How does withdrawal function look like? And injection function look like? How will your multiplier be different from two sector to four sector? And therefore the investment amount will have a larger impact in two sector than four sector. So we have to derive the diagram with the equation. No equation needed. No equation needed. Only the general form needed. Two sectors, you start with two sector and then we write about four sector. The diagrams, of course, the diagrams is what you get the marks for, but no numbers required. Okay, are we going to move on? One more question I want to do before we end the class is, if investment increases, it will cause an increase in output. Yes or no? What do we call that? That's called the multiplier theory. Investment goes up, output goes up through the multiplier theory. Multiplier. And if output increases, it will cause an increase in investment. The accelerator theory. So they're saying discuss whether both these statements can be true. So this is the question, guys. Can I have 1 minute of attention? This is the question we talk about multiplier and accelerator theory. And there's a conclusion here as well, because it's a discussed question. For conclusion, I'm going to have a discussion tomorrow, on Monday, but you need to talk about the multiplier and then accelerator, and the conclusion is about multiplier accelerator interaction, which I'm going to talk about in the next class. So Haris says, sir, can we add numbers so that examples would be easy to explain? No, Haris, you will end up confusing yourself. So don't add numbers here. My suggestion is don't add numbers. Okay, guys, thank you very much.